to Racice in the Czech Republic for the International Canoe Federation's second Sprint World Cup regatta of the 2014 season. Over the weekend, 571 competitors from 41 nations have been fighting it out to get to the finals and the right to get wet and win medals. Today we're going to be watching 10 events. I'm not by myself, I'm Matthew Leighton. Today I've got two distinguished guests who've both been in finals this weekend. First up, Naomi Flood, or Floody to most of the people in the world, from Australia. And secondly, the youngster, but he's certainly got a lot of maturity out there, from New Zealand, Gerald Fitzgerald. Good morning to you both.
Morning. Great to be here. Beautiful day.
We are coming to you live, so we can say that was a lie. It's been raining for the last couple of hours. What's happened in the last couple of days is quite interesting. At 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, when we all wake up and the athletes go out and train and we do some research, it's a lovely day. And then suddenly the actual race time comes, and fortunately it's a bit of rain. Not any much wind today. Temperatures are more winter than summer, as you can see. You've both been out in the water yesterday. What are the conditions?
Yes, it isn't very warm out there. It is quite chilly with that wind, so it is tough. It's tough to get warm in between races. You just need to do your best and try and stay dry and get warm in between and get back out there and get amongst it.
Well, the action is thick and fast. We're going to again start off with the men, the K1 500 metres. Looking down the list, it's going to be difficult to say who's going to come first. Clearly, we've got René Hylton-Poulsen, we've got Dostal, Hubert, maybe a surprise from France coming in. Kenny has obviously got a massive finish on him. Vancouver hasn't quite got up to his natural speed yet, but let's go through them quickly as we speak.
You've got Max Hoff there as well, and Jordan Wood. It is a hot field, really hot field. It's going to be tough out there today, so this Tootsie, there's Kenny, it's going to be thick and fast. And I spoke to Kenny earlier, and he seemed very focused. He loves this event. You know, anything can happen. Etienne
Hubert, he hasn't really been in the final for the last 4 years. He's also in the K2 200 final in a few minutes' time. That's going to be good. The Giant, who has the boat made for him, he's concentrating on K1 this year. Dostal, it's going to be interesting to see how Kim comes forward. René Hylton-Poulsen, he's changed coach in January, so he's got a different technique as opposed to giving it 100% all the time. He plans his stuff, as we were telling us yesterday. Vancouver, obviously Olympic champion. They won more World Cups and things than you ever forget about, but he'll be interesting to see. Yeah, and then running forward,
you got Jan Sturber, Max Hoff, and Jordan Wood. I think there's so many names in this lineup that it is wide open. It's who wants it the most, I think, on the line. And Jordan Wood, his first A final, he's only 19. He'd be absolutely chomping at the bit. He's so excited to be out there and get amongst it and have a go at the lineup. It's incredible.
Let's switch to someone of his generation. Gerald, how do you see his chances? Jordan, first moto final, must be exciting.
Yeah, no, he's got a good chance here. He's fast for our age, so yeah, he's got a good.
And the fact that he's actually starting off next to Max, is that inspiring or intimidating?
I think he'll be pretty excited starting next to him. He's a world champion, and he'll take it out hard, I imagine, and he'll give Max a run for his money.
2 Australians, 2 Czechs in the final. 2 of the Czechs actually were normally in the K4 1000 boat, but Daniel Havel hurt his shoulder, so he can't make it up, so they're actually having to go in different belts, but they're both very, very fast. Let's see. And they're off. Looks like Jordan got a very good start at the bottom.
Dostal got a great start as well. It's such a hard race. It's fast, it's furious, it's a sprint. It's hard at the start. It gets harder and harder and harder. You just keep tightening the screws. And
I think both the Czech athletes are out hard.
And the thing with Max Hoff at the second from the bottom of the screen, he just winds up throughout the race. So he's going to be always thereabouts. Adam Van Coverdon in lane 4. Dostal's taking it to him, and Kenny's out there on the red boat on the far side. So yeah, the rating's up, working. Like I said, it's a long race, but it's not. It's a crazy sprint, and you just have to be controlled and hang in there as long as you can.
But so far, halfway mark, and Dostal's really taking it to the rest of them. It's his home course, I guess. It's going to be good for local fans and obviously good for his family.
Well, he's so big and strong. He medalled in under 23 Worlds last year, and I think that was his big step up into the senior ranks. It was taking it to the world, and he's absolutely smoking at the moment.
And obviously last week he got the silver medal. Ben Stonvari, who got the gold, is not here, but let's go to today's race. So we've got 150 metres to go, and it is Dostal's to lose. Who's going to come and catch him? Max Hoff looking for the charge at the bottom.
Yeah, Max is coming there. Adam's hanging in there. René's there. Kenny's there. It's going to be really tight. It'll be a photo finish. You can see Kenny in the top in the red boat.
Max is coming.
Pushing.
Kenny's going to charge at the top, but it's at the moment it's Dostal, but he could be caught. Another 60 metres to go. Dostal really wants it. Kenny's come through. It looks like Dostal's going to get it. Dostal takes
Kenny
the medal.
second.
Kenny second.
Kenny, Max third.
And it looks like Etienne Hubert, that we didn't really talk about, was really, really close with Max for 4th place.
Just hunting them down. That's not a fun race, I don't think. But Dostal seems pretty pumped, and have a go at the size of him. He's a small human. He's only young, and he's got plenty of improvement.
That was a very respectable race for Jordan Wood.
First A final, yeah. Young Woody, he'd be pumped with that. It's great to be in a fast race and to be in something like that with all those names and great experience.
I read in his website, and I'll quote, his aim in life is to see how much I can make my body hurt.
That, if anyone ever speaks to Jordan, that you'd understand that for sure. He's taken the 8th place there. It's unbelievable.
There's a happy man, 21 years old.
Jeez.
Big guy.
Yeah, good on him. Hometown advantage in front of his family and friends. Yeah, he's pumped. Well done.
And confirmation of the official results. I guess they'll come in a minute. As we mentioned a couple of seconds ago, it is overcast. Does this put you off, or you just get on with the job? Here we go. Before I actually answer that, first of all,
fast time.
Dostal in 1:35.892 for the Czech Republic. Kenny Wallace a second off, and Max Hoff just beating Etienne Hubert from France. Then we have Canada, Czech Republic, Denmark, Australia, and Tutsi from Estonia. So great first event there.
And fast time. So it obviously shows there isn't too much wind out there. So as we look at the girls' race coming up, it seems to be a fairly fair course. So I think you have to look in the middle lanes for this race. Belarus, Poland, Great Britain, the Russian crews. There's 2 of them in there, 2 Chinese crews. You can't go past the Germans, the Olympic and world champion.
The outside flyers.
In there.
Kiwis.
And then you got the Kiwis in there on the outside as well.
Kiwis, obviously the new team on the block, but they had a honourable performance last week. But the ones to look out for, you mentioned, it's going to be with the Germans. It's going to be interesting. We'll come back to them in a minute. But a word about the New Zealanders.
These girls are very strong. They train hard. They're a good bunch. I think they're gonna surprise a few today.
Just as a new crew, I think they're looking to rattle the cage a bit, which is great.
Up next to the Germans.
This German crew is also a newish kind of crew, and it has the K2 combination in there of Dietzer and Weber. So
from last year they've thrown in Connie Wasmuth against Katrin Wagner-Augustin, but she won obviously gold in 2008, so it's a good team. But this looks pretty.
The Belarus
well.
go out hard there.
They massively switched their team around. They've changed quite a few athletes since last year, but they seem to have 10 athletes that are really, really out with it and can do anything on their day. This looks really powerful one, doesn't it? If you look at the names of Wodzakevich, Tindieska, Nayo and Mikolajczyk, and they've all won medals at the top level.
Yeah, they're definitely very experienced, and they know what it takes, so they'll be in the mix. And the Great Britain girls are newish crew again. They've thrown the combination around, but
they're back to the Olympic crew.
They're always there, exactly. They're always there.
And then we have 2 crews from Russia. They're still in the experimental stages. They have a huge depth of field, so they can really throw lots of new girls at this actual event.
Yeah, definitely. This is obviously the other Russian crew, so they're going to try and take each other out here, and having so many options with so many paddlers, it's great for each country to have
2 Chinese crews.
It's going to be interesting to see how they develop, because clearly they did well last week, but there's a different opposition.
Yeah,
no Hungarian crew here this week, so it's going to be, I suppose, that's
first
something.
And third, the Chinese. That's unbelievable. That first World Cup, you don't see them racing too much, the Chinese, but they've come here with 17 girls to do the World Cup series, and that's a lot of girls. We've got 6 Australian girls here, so it's 17. Everyone is specifically here for one race, and they're going to give it everything. And
I think their connections were, they hope they will give it everything, because their criticism was that they don't race very often, and sometimes they have something left on the water.
Okay.
They're saying about the Australians that you guys, you just are so strong at racing, you never leave anything out there, and that they're here to learn. But here we are. We have the top 9 teams of this weekend activity, apart from Australia, who are clearly not here this weekend, but you've got different options. Let's see how they go.
It's a heavy boat to get moving off the line, so it's really important that everyone goes together and gets the boat up and running as quick as they can. the ratings up, the GB girls. Second from the bottom.
Poland sitting pretty.
Yeah, Polish taking it out.
Well, they've got
girls.
3 sprinters in the team, so they're certainly going to be good for the first bit, and they have a will to win, so it's going to be interesting to see how they come. They've got Voltakiewicz, who's going to be going later, leading them off, and it's going to be interesting to see how she's got so many silver medals to her name.
And you can't rule out the Belarusian crew. They were first and third in the K2 yesterday, and they're always in the hunt for medals. So.
And they're young, and they did extremely well as under-23s and junior. But yes, it's looking at the moment. We have on the first split, we have Belarus coming through, and Great Britain still in the picture.
Yeah, this is a really tough race. The Polish look so clinical. There's so much power in that boat.
There's going to be a huge want to win or will to win from the Germans, because it is a selection criteria for the Europeans and for the world. So this is a really, really important race.
Yeah,
Can the youngsters beat the experienced ones?
The Polish have really taken off from the Great Britain crew there. And the Belarusians are coming through.
Germans are finishing.
Yeah,
so Cam, 40 metres to go, 50 metres to go, and it looks like Poland's going to take a fairly easy victory in the end of the day. Who's going to come second?
I think
It looks like the Germans going to come up second.
Tight finish.
Oh,
Call it possibly Germany, followed by Belarus, Great Britain.
Yeah, tight finish for the minor places, but Polish just schooling everyone out there on how to paddle a K4 and get down the course well. It looked easy hard paddling.
You have to just be a bit careful with the Polish, because they're not coordinating the names of the athletes with the actual names on the boats. The actual athletes' names are the ones on your screen.
Okay.
The Belarus were guilty of that yesterday.
The pronunciation, it'd be terrible anyway. So if you just say Poland, it's Poland for the win. We'd say.
Well, they're all individuals. We have Voltakiewicz, who came second in the Olympics, second in the Worlds last year. Then Wisniewska's got many medals, and then if you Caroline Naya, she's got a stack of medals with Nikolajczyk, so it is strong there. But yeah, they in the end they took quite a convincing win, didn't they? Controlled the race.
Yeah, it was a really good race. I think they'd be pretty happy with that. It's obviously early in the season, but every race counts, and for them it counts for selection. You have Germans taking silver, it would seem.
Have we seen the time? Are they continuing the fast times? I guess we'll see it in a couple of seconds.
Yeah, they'd be very happy with that.
Look at that. Marta was the poster girl in Poznan a couple of years ago, and she's really quite famous for them. Ecstatic crowd.
Yeah, the crowd's going crazy down here.
Well, last year it was the 100th anniversary of the Czech Federation, so there was free beer. And perhaps there you go. They had to pay for the beer perhaps today, but you're on the major screens.
You can see it's not so warm. It's raining. Everyone's trying to get out of the rain, and they've probably got 15 layers on each, just trying to keep a little bit of warmth.
Here we have confirmation of the result. Poland clearly took it in 1:33. Germany silver. Belarus just edging out Great Britain.
It's fast times, and for no wind assistance, 33.5 is a very good starting point, and they look like they did it quite easy. So the Germans, I think, would be a little bit upset with that. The Belarusians happy to be on the podium. They're always stoked with a medal. So.
And you, word for your compatriots?
Oh, nah.
Just a word, okay.
I think they were 7th in the girls, so that's a great start.
Yep. Here we go. It is the C1 500 men's final. I suppose all eyes are going to be on Martin Fuchser in lane number 4. He is third generation of competitors at national levels, and obviously he got the bronze medal yesterday. Gubel of, well, 34 years old, but let's go through them perhaps one at a time just to make sure, give you some details.
From Slovakia.
He came 5th in the Milan World Cup last weekend, and he's a lefty.
Mikhail
Pavlov.
Yeah, Russia has a strong team out here as well. They have a lot. They've spent in October till April in Portugal, so they have obviously a lot of good time. Jan Vandry, he actually in the World Cup in Poznan last year, he came 8th in the 500. Martin Fuchser, he was flying last year. He actually won here last year, but then had a knee injury, I believe, and missed out the Worlds. But he's going to be back and proving that he's still good.
Artem Kozer from Belarus. They're very consistently up there in the canoeing, the Belarusians.
Belarus have got a big team out there, haven't they? Michael Kuleni, 22 years old. He's last week he came 4th in the C2 1000. Gubel always says he actually loves to give his maximum. He's been around many years, winning lots of medals. Great to see him here this weekend.
And Sergey from Kazakhstan.
18 years old, soon 19, one of 3 brothers. Father was also an international for the USSR. And Marcin Grabowski, he had a great season last year from Poland again. He enters the 500 and 1,000, always in his yellow bait, always wears glasses. Looks like an accountant, looks very intelligent.
Yeah, he's
his glasses, I saw him this morning just before he was going, and he's wiping away with his glasses.
Yeah, he's ready to go. Focused. It's very still out there. Should make for a good start.
The suspense is building. Can't see what holding them back, but there's obviously something. What might be happening?
Someone might be a little bit sideways, but they look straight. The starter might not be ready.
Ready, set.
They're off.
Yesterday we saw a big difference, and speaking to the winner of the C1 1000, Sebastian Bendel, he said, well, I had a huge advantage because I'm a lefty and the righties had the wind going across them. Today I don't think we have any wind, so it's going to be probably a fair playing field.
It would seem so, yeah. It's really important just to get this boat up and running, and you can see they do bounce a fair bit. There's a lot of movement there, but it's just the way they get the boat going and their rating goes up, and it's... being a kayaker, it is kind of strange watching the canoe because we don't see too much of it. In Australia, we don't have much canoeing happening, so...
And having surf ski, you're not used to the waves?
Definitely not. No, we don't like waves, yeah. You can see lane 8, that Kazakhstan Sergei, he's had a cracker of a start.
I think he's only a young guy, isn't he?
He's 18, apparently he's 19 on the 19th, so in a few days' time.
Won Junior Worlds last year.
Yeah, he's one of 3 brothers, and the others are Timothy's. I think they're going to be going later, 21 and 23. There's Fuchse in your picture.
He seems very controlled.
Well, last year he was certainly on form, and yesterday in the C1 1000 he was actually leading most of the race out.
Yeah, that's a pretty decent lead in canoeing, so if he can hang on, and the young guy Sergei from Kazakhstan in lane 8.
And the Grabowski at the bottom of the field, he's always holding on, so it's going to be it's a good race. It's got a lot into it.
He's very low rating.
The Russian Mikhail up in lane 2, second from the top, seems to be consistently strong in the last 200. He's had a big look there.
But it's going to be Martin Fuchs bring it home. He's got 50-60 metres to go, but no one's going to catch him at the moment. Who's going to go for the second? It looks like in lane number 2.
Mikhail.
Russia coming home. There's a strong finish. Poland.
Sergei.
Poland. It's tight.
Well, Fuchs, he really gave a demonstration from the 300 metres to the end. He was in control, wasn't he?
No, it just looked like it came easy to him. Yeah, he's
21 years old. A local poster boy.
There you go. He's had a solid win. A C1 500 non-Olympic event now, but it's you take a win. You're racing world-class athletes, so he'd be pretty ecstatic with that, I think.
Let's hope he stays. Last year apparently he was desperately disappointed to miss out on the Worlds. He won the Europeans. Yeah. Which is not important for you Australians, New Zealander, but it is a reference.
Like you said earlier, you have to get the racing under your belt, and you need the racing experience and practice to see where you're at and see where everyone else is and really test yourself.
Just while we got a second in between races, Jared, you were in the final yesterday. How was the experience?
It was a good experience. We definitely just went out racing it like the young guys, but those top crews definitely got a long little bit to go to catch them, but it's what we're here for.
When you're going along and you're slightly behind, you're thinking damn, or you're thinking let go, or you're not thinking anything, you just race plan and go? I
think you're just trying to concentrate on your race as much as possible, but sometimes when you're not seeing them out, not even in your peripheral, they're in front of you, I don't know, you can be a bit demoralised, but it's definitely good racing, so we'll look forward to it. Making the A final was definitely a highlight.
Confirmation of the results is Martin Fuchs takes the gold medal in 1:49 for Czech Republic, Russia second, Kulev for Poland third, and then the young Kazakh we're talking about just missed out the medals today with the 4th position. Germany, Poland, Slovakia making up the numbers.
Right, some solid racing, and you can just see the K4 girls just getting their boat weighed after their event. It's obviously boat control is very important. You don't want to be underweight if you go to boat control, and the specifications for each and every boat and every category is.
You know what the deal is, don't you? So you know how it is. I think yesterday I can't remember the name of the person, but one boat came under yesterday, and I think one forgot to turn up, and because what they do is they give 3 numbers out, and you're supposed to go to boat control, and they didn't.
I think they get a solid, stern talking to, or they might get
coach
disqualified.
deserve it, don't they?
Well, everyone has to, adhere to certain rules, and everyone should have to.
So as you can possibly hear in the background, if you have good hearing, it is a medal ceremony now for the K1 500 metres, and we do have 3. They're all pretty big, aren't they? In Anglo-Saxon terms, they're all about 6'7", about 6'3", and about 6'2", and those two. The most important thing about this ceremony is obviously going to be Kenny's selfie.
Yes,
It's
become a bit of a trending thing. It's sort of an Ellen on Facebook kind of. Get as many people in the photo as you can.
Anyway, this is going to be the official ceremony. We're going to be, unfortunately, live. We can't cover the ceremonies because we don't have a choice of racing or ceremonies, but they're going to be coming thick and fast after this. And to present the actual medal, you can't get anyone bigger in the game than this. It's one of the ICF vice presidents, Istvan Vasuki, who has been around in the scene and obviously doing a great job on the world basis, but it's going to be the 3rd, 2nd and 1st. Yesterday we had no national anthems. I presume today we're not doing the same. You were on the podium, obviously, Fladdy, so you know what it's all about.
Yeah, there definitely wasn't a national anthem yesterday, so it's a great experience to get up on the podium as you see Max Hoff. He loves it.
Well, he's had more practice than most, hasn't he, in recent years?
He's the poster boy for German kayaking. He's an absolute wizard. He's in every race and he goes hard from the very start, and he starts at 100% and he finishes 120%.
This winter he actually broke his hand in a skiing accident. He had a month off. That's why he's slim and looking lean and mean, but great to talk to you and good character.
Kenny Wallace taking the silver.
He's really doing well in the last 2 seasons in the World Cup. I think he's won more gongs, as we say, or more medals in the 500 than anyone else.
Yeah, he's very consistent. Obviously, the last 2008 Olympic champion. Last Olympic champion forever now, I guess. And, he'll be happy to be on the podium. He'll be racing the 5,000 metre race later today, the long distance race.
She normally wins as well.
Well,
Josef Dostal, as we mentioned, 21 years old. The camera has to go up a little bit to get him in the picture.
He's certainly not a small human. There's a lot of him, and at only 21, did you say?
Yeah.
He's the world's at his feet.
I think these 3 were in the same semi yesterday in the 1,000, so it shows
solid racing.
High calibre.
Keeping together. It's interesting. I was speaking to the president, in fact, of the Czech Federation yesterday, and he was saying it's you have to make priorities, and very much priority for the Czech coaching and structure is the 1,000 metres. So right across the board from your K1s, your C1s, your 2s and 4s. It's very much a case of.
Whose camera do we use? That's what the conversation was just then. Do we use yours or mine?
The camaraderie in the sport.
It's great. It's all good fun, and you see the guys. That's one of the reasons they want to be on the podium, to get the selfie, and everyone talks about it.
And when we were trying to interview yesterday, we had to wait 3 or 4 minutes before you all had your selfies yesterday.
Oh yes, yeah, it's all part of it. You got to make the most of it, because you don't get on the podium that much, or some of us don't. So.
But you won in Moscow, didn't you, a couple of years ago?
I did. I had a win in the K1000, in 2012, in similar conditions. There's the Frenchies in the crowd. They're having a good time.
Big team here this week, and they've got some good results. They're in quite a few finals today. We're talking about the K2 200s in a couple of minutes, where they're going to be matching in the next few events. Yeah,
they're definitely in the women's K1 200 this morning as well. Sarah Guyot, I can't pronounce her name, but she's a young girl. She's racing at under 23s, and she's absolutely flying. So first up, we'll see the men strut their stuff in the K1 200, and some of them will be backing up and doing the K2 200
in about 20 minutes off. I think there's a couple of them are saying it's going to be interesting to see how things are going there. But yes, we can talk briefly, if you want, to start about the K1 200 meters. Last week we had maybe a bit of surprise. There was a rumour that Oster Manning, the Swedish world champion, had a bit of a sore shoulder. He didn't complain about it, but he actually only made the B final and then won that. Today he's in the A final. Christian Reeves from Great Britain, it's his first ever A final. So if you're listening about Christian, come on Christian, he's not shy on Twitter, and it's a major achievement for him. Where's Ed McKeever? Well, he has a small virus at the moment, so he's been scratched from this week, and probably, I heard this morning, he's going to be scratched next week as well in Szeged, but obviously he's the Olympic champion. And then others to look out for, the winners from last week, Claviato Rivera, he's actually not here, so there's a couple of markable names not turning up this week. But you have
the Canadian Marc de Jong. He's unbelievably fast, and he's consistently fast, and they didn't race World Cup 1, so he'll be here. He's the bronze medalist from London Olympics, and he's very consistent in this race. You have Maxime Beaumont from France, obviously Peter Menning now from Sweden. Tim Hornsby, I think this could be his first A final from the US, and obviously Christian is having his first start as well.
And obviously, GB, we have 2 races with Liam Heath coming up.
Yeah, so Liam Heath actually is in the front seat of the K2, but I don't think he's raced K1 internationally much.
He won the trials in the UK not a couple of weeks ago. But anyway, let's see who we have. We have Maxime Richard here. He's actually the current whitewater sprint world champion of WOW.
Yeah,
so he switches events very, very strong.
I think
this is Liam Heath we were talking about a second ago.
Yeah, Liam Heath, he's been unbelievable in K1, and I've never seen him paddle the K1 200, and just watching him, it looked like it came so naturally to him, and he'll be taking it to Marc Dijon. So your pick, Marc Dijon?
Yeah. Well, he's very strong, and he's been on the podium for quite a lot. Maxime Beaumont, he's going to be in the K2s next week because they're switching it around. He's been last year he was racing the K2s with Sébastien Jouve, and how we have Peter Ostrom married last year, so became Menning, but he interesting to see because he wasn't that positive this morning on Twitter, so I don't know if he's up for it or how he feels.
That's your gauge on Twitter? Okay. Well,
absolutely.
You have Tim Hornsby here. He's got a bit of a confusion going on. He's actually wearing a pair of Australian pants on there. He's got New South Wales pants on, but he's from the States.
Christian Reeves, as we mentioned, it's his first ever A final, and it's going to be interesting to see if the pressure goes in his favour.
Well, 2 GB guys in the final, that's an unreal achievement. Christian first final. I think he's going to give it everything and get right amongst it.
If you're saying where's Lockie, well, he just missed out on the A final. I believe he came first in the B final.
Yeah, little Lockie Tame from Australia had a win in the B final, and he'd be pretty pumped with that. It's also a bit of a selection for us, so it's good to be amongst it and get a result when you need it.
It's going to be fast and furious. They're going to be paddling at about 170, 180 strokes a minute. And they're off.
Great start from Maxime Beaumont in the middle from France, in the white boat.
And you can see Liam Heath really putting it down there well.
And Marc Dijon right next to him in the red and white boat there.
De Jong's got it at the moment.
Peter Menning, watch him coming third from the bottom. He's got that yellow tip on his boat. He can finish. It's just a matter of who can hold on the longest. There's Marc Dijon in the middle.
They're coming up the line, 50 metres to go. It looks like De Jong, but Liam Heath is putting in for it. And also Manning's coming on the bottom.
Oh, it's
going to be really, really close.
Tight finish.
Wow.
Oh, it could. Oh, they've said Sweden. They've come up with Peter Menning as first, but we'll wait for the official results. That was tight.
Well, at the World Championships, they didn't have a clue who'd won for the first minute or so, and they're looking at each other. They're giving it to De Jong, so it must be a clear victory.
He looks like Clark Kent at the moment, doesn't he? The size of him.
He certainly does some training.
He's bench pressing 190 kilos at the moment, so they say he'll be up to 200 by Rio 2016.
Just as a bearing, someone who's sporty like yourself, how much can you do?
Bench press, 95. So he's smashing me, and just the way they get these boats to move so quick and so smooth without it's incredible. So
180 strokes a minute, going for just over 33, 40 to 34 seconds. And who's going to take this one?
See, the judges are having a tough time. It comes down to, we call it a lunge in Australia, but they call it a shoot in Canada, where you actually thrust the boat forward to get it that little bit quicker to the line.
And do you specifically train for that? I guess you must do.
I don't personally, but the sprinters definitely do, because as you see how tight it is, it comes down to this.
And the real challenge is it's not like in running, there's no actual line, is there?
Well, there's no tape to cross.
No, exactly,
So with the line across the finish cans,
you've got to know where it is.
It's just in front of the numbered cans as you come in. It's just in front of those white markers. So it's tough. But that's why we do it. It's a tough and sometimes unfair sport. Unfair, and
it's one of the few. I comment on quite a few different sports. It's one of the few sports I know you'll be on time.
Yes,
they're actually having problems deciding who's won it, so they're actually going to go on the graphics to set us up to see who's going to go in the C1 200 final. As soon as we have the information, either through my earpiece or on the screen, we'll actually know what we're talking about. But this is the 200 men's final for the canoes. Again, we've got some big names. Canada represented with Jason McCombs and Tardioli, so that's going to be interesting to watch. And some big names in here. Well, we've got Andrei Kreto, who was actually up with me yesterday in the commentary box. He sounded very confident. Dmitry Vetsushkin, he often goes in the C4, have won I think 3 or 4 times the World Championships. Thomas Simard from France, he's been putting in some good results, in the last couple of years, and his boat should be at least easy to spot there with the colours on the tip. By the way, you have discretion of what you do on the boat, don't you?
Yes, that's it. Yes, we do, definitely.
Andrei Kreto say he was feeling confident. He's been paddling pretty much full time since he was 15 years old. His dad's a coach. He's obviously with the Russian team. Jason McComb's in your picture. He's been making lots of progress in the last couple of years and made some good. You see how unstable those boats are.
Well, that was him just shaking it. He looked very in control then, and I can't even kneel in one myself. So
Helder Silva from Portugal again. He's been putting some good results together. I suppose the most fancied, the biggest name in this is Ivan Shatil. He's won multiple world medals and multiple Olympic medals. Second, Benjamin here from Canada. He's again good to make the team and to have two athletes in the final. But I suppose they have quite a big base in Canada.
Yeah, definitely, plenty of athletes to pick from. But
William Chamber, a giant, and he was here. Good results. I think his best result was here last year. So it'd be interesting to see how the big boys. I suppose it takes a bit longer to get the boat going, but once they do that, they can really they make it go on.
Get it along happening, yeah.
And then let's not forget...
And then Sergei from Azerbaijan. Sergei usually paddles in the C2000 and C2500, but he seems to be doing a lot of C1s this season, so it just shows that everyone has to cover all the distances, all the boats.
Well, he's certainly doing success in his past. He has 5 World Championship silver medals and 2 bronzes in his career so far, so it's going to be interesting to see.
Came in pretty fast. Then William from France, and there isn't Sergei from Azerbaijan. Doesn't seem to be.
We don't have him here on the line, do we?
No, he doesn't seem to want to race today, but that's all right. The other guys are going to take it all the way down the 200 metres.
So 2 Russians in your picture. I think that's going to be possibly the race. Lane's number 3, lane's number 6. It's not an internal selection, but it is important.
Yeah, so it's really important, I think, in these conditions when it is fairly fair. It doesn't matter if you are a left-handed or a right-handed stroke. So
when the Worlds in Duisburg, Shatil in your picture, he actually came second.
Portuguese guy, Jake Helder Silva.
Well, he's gone out fast, hasn't he? He's gone out very fast.
He's taken it to the Russian. The Russian just seems to be in control, though, with that sort of that rainbow kind of boat. He's got a nice bandana on. It looks like it matches the boat and seems to be paddling well. It's going to be tight when they're coming into the finish line.
Well, it's Russia and Portugal. 5 minutes to go. Even Shatil's going to take it. Who's going to get the silver?
Andrew Crater on the other side, lane 3.
Well, he certainly leant back the most and really pushed his boat over. Was there enough momentum from... that's even Shatil in his... in your pictures, a wonderful selection of headbands.
Yeah, it looks great, and I think he'd be happy with that win as well. It's obviously, like you said, it's a Russian selection. It's a great lead into a big season, and hopefully he can go on with something. And
well, clearly they're hosting the Worlds in Moscow.
Yeah, so big push for trying to get some great results and a hometown advantage, and in front of the family and friends again, and flying the flag for Russia.
We're still waiting for the official results to come through for the K1 200. I just heard in my earpiece that they're going to come on the screen very shortly, so we'll put you out of your suspense. Sorry about that, but that's just the way it is. They have to get it correctly right. But no doubt about the winner in the C1 200. We're trying to figure out who came second and third.
I'm going to pick Andrew Crater from Russia there. I think he just had a better shoot on the finish.
Helder Silva coming in third from Portugal.
That's our unofficial results here, but...
And let's see what we have on the screen. We're discovering this exactly the same time as you.
Looks beautiful out there today, doesn't it? Where else would you be? It's good. There's not much wind out there, and hopefully the rain is easing.
Well, we were actually physically just in the start tower, the finish tower. So on 4th floor. So it's a bit of a walk for these whinging athletes when they had to go up all the steps. But it's a lovely view from up here, so we can actually right on the finish line see what's going on. I say the suspense is. Well, who's won the K1 200 and who's come second and third in the other one? We have the officials of the finish. The timers are actually just next to us. They're studying their details, and a decision will be made. There's Andrei Kreto stepping out of his boat. Such a lovely chap. We had him in the booth here yesterday, and he's always smiling. If you are curious about how the sport works, you just go to his site and see how many videos he puts on it.
Yeah, he's pretty good on social media.
Sorry, I cut you off there. I just had something.
That's fine. It's great, the social media. Everyone can keep up to date with what's going on in the world of paddling and canoeing.
She said answering her mobile phone.
I was just checking for an update myself.
Here we go. De Jong, Heath, Manning.
Wow, it's
Close.
very close. Good times. Tough conditions.
Official
not
result
assisting.
this is. So Mark de Jong wins the gold medal. Liam Heath wins the silver. Peter Manning wins the bronze medal, which is, I'd say it was too close to call, but a great result for Canada. Again, you picked him, Jared. Did you have inside information? Or?
No, nothing too inside. It's just been real good form of late. So, yeah.
Okay, we're going from the men flyers to the women flyers. Lisa Carrington, was she affected yesterday by her bronze medal?
I think it made her hungrier. I think the conditions weren't up in her favour yesterday, but she's definitely got her race head on and
always in pink. Natalie Podolskaya had a really good, lots of wins in the university career, but she really came through. Teresa Portela from Portugal has been on the podium many times before, and pretty much always when she competes makes the final.
Karolina Naya from Poland looked very impressive yesterday.
But she might be tired there because she's in the K4 about 30 minutes ago.
Not even. And Lisa Carrington, you really can't go past Lisa Carrington. She's unbelievable, looks amazing. Technically, she's so strong. But you have young people like this, Sarah from France, coming up, and the young blood, they want to push their limits. And
here's Voltakevic again, who was also in the Polish boat 25 minutes ago, so they've had a quick change around.
Yeah, you'd think only with 25 minutes in between, that's only 200 metres, they think that this is what they do, they paddle, they'd be used to it. And
fine, I'll take
get
it from
into
you.
it, I think.
Init Klinova, she's also in the final.
Kazakhstan, and then Martina Kolova from Slovakia.
And she's always thereabouts. When
Definitely.
Kometova in the K2s, they're also obviously together.
Fourth
So
yesterday,
yeah,
that's
exactly.
it, yep. They know how to race, and this is her home course as well, even though she's just over the border.
And they're off.
Come on, Lisa.
Don't break the microphone. There's early days, obviously,
Look
in your picture
furious.
of Lisa Carrington with a fast start. Doesn't ever slow down, does she?
No,
Let's
she
see how they're going
doesn't.
today.
She rates
She's
really
out.
high, but she's so efficient.
It's out to prove something today.
We have 5 girls in a line. It's always the middle lanes.
You'd have
Guya,
to say at this
Lisa,
stage, Lisa,
Naya.
you'd have to say, and then on the other side of Sarah from France, in the red, the green and yellow boat is Karolina from Poland. She's hanging in there.
But it looks like Lisa Carrington with 50 metres to go says, listen, I
Come
want
on.
this victory, and she's going to actually win. Very easy at the moment.
Too easy.
Who's going to come in second? It's going to be really close.
Lane 8.
3,
Lane 8.
5 and 8.
Kazakhstan,
it's
second.
tight for the minor places, but Lisa Carrington just schooling everybody again, just showing them that is why she's the best.
Well, she hasn't been beaten since the, I don't know,
Very humble.
2011 or something.
2011, she was
the
world
there.
champ. 2012, she won the Olympics. Won worlds last year. She's a lovely girl. She's got the world at her feet, and she's got her head screwed on. She's very switched on and knows what she wants. And
Well,
she knows.
is it international politics and Maori studies at the moment she's doing?
Yeah,
or-
she's very switched on. So it's
A slow-mo of Sarah Guyot from
Look at that
France.
leg
Still
drive.
very young.
so determined.
I wonder what's going through her mind when she crosses the finish line, because we don't see any external emotions, do we?
No, yeah, lucky the camera goes off the facials and things at the end, but I think she'd just be relieved just to know that she still has it. And I think yesterday it might have shaken her up a little bit, but at the same time it's all good for her to be beaten. Everyone's beatable, and come back today and just say, you know what, I'm still here, I'm strong, I'm fast, and I've got you covered.
Look at the look of
Relief.
delight.
Yeah, good on her. She's a great athlete. She's a great role model for kayaking and women in sport, especially in the Southern Hemisphere. I know she's very popular in New Zealand.
Yeah, no, definitely. She's brought the kayak nationals in New Zealand has definitely gone up in athlete numbers. So we've I'd say she's had a big part of that. So yeah.
Let's go straight for the results. This is going skipping back. Sorry about this, but it was so close. Even Shatil, Andrew Kratos, that's a 1-2 for Russia, and Silva takes the bronze medal for Portugal. So well done for Russia. Obviously, they do dominate this event. They have such depth of field.
2 Russians, 2 Canadians, 2 French in the final. It's pretty impressive for those countries to have such depth.
Exactly, that's what they're interesting to see the women. I think we have nine women in the C1 200 in a couple of minutes in the finals. That's slowly building up. I'd say the goal is to have 25 in 2015 Worlds. It's going to be in Italy, so that's
something to work forward to.
A big step in canoeing and women in sport. It doesn't look very exciting out there, does it? It is cold. It is still drizzling, and everyone's trying to get excited and support their teammates and athletes as they come down the course. But
the challenge is, because it's such a physical event, the athletes are not going to be on the slalom. Obviously, everyone stands out and watches, but in here you're not going to have the watching. Let's go through the start list of the C1 200 women. Probably not that many familiar names unless you're family and friends, and then obviously we'll do our best. The 80s, looking when I do some research of this, 7 or 6 of the girls were born in the 1990s. We've got 2 from Canada who did well in the national trials. Taylor, personal message here. You don't have to be scared. We asked if she wanted to do some commentary yesterday, and she said she was too nervous. But she's doing communications, so hopefully she'll come through quite soon. None of the world who in the World Championships, we only have one competitor here. We have Arina Andreeva, who's 19-year-old in lane number 6. She actually came 4th, but the other top competitors are sitting this out at the moment, going through them. We do have the youngest youngest competitor from Belarus. She's only 17 years old. The other old Belarus competitor's 18 years old. So they're really, girls are coming in young and seeing what they can do here.
Yeah, it's great that you have the Eastern European countries, the Belarusians, the Russians, the Czech. There's 2 girls from Czech in here and 2 Canadians. Again, it's good to see depth in these countries in women's canoeing. It's taking off. It's picking up, and just watching some of the girls go through their heats yesterday, it was really impressive. I had to check if they were male or female because they were paddling technically really well from my untrained eye, that is.
Well, let's see what they can do today. The goal is to be have a fair few of them under 50 seconds. So the levels coming on. The World Championships, it's difficult to say in this sport clearly, but the World Championships last year were won in 51. Last weekend, I think we had 49.5. And here they are. I say you can't compare it with the stroke rate of the actual men, but they're certainly the middle lanes anyway. You're going to see some fast and furious action. Look out for, say, the experienced name is 25-year-old and Irina Andrea from Russia.
You think at lane 5 at the moment that Irina from Belarus in the yellow boat. Stroking well, looks hungry, looks aggressive. And
well, she's the youngest competitor in the field, and 17 years old. It's coming fast and fast. There's 90 metres to go.
And she's next to her Belarusian teammate on the other side. They're coming home strong.
But lane number 4 is finishing fast as well. It's another 20 metres to go. Can you hold on? It looks like lane number 5 from Belarus takes her, in the end, relatively easy victory. Takes a swim.
She'd be wanting to get out of that water pretty quick.
But I suppose it's a little bit warmer when you win.
Well, you wonder if she got her nose over the line before she finished there. So it'll be interesting to see those results as well. But you can certainly say Belarus were right up the top of the podium end, I guess.
Well, there's a boat, just off your picture, there's a speedboat going towards us, so it'll be a happy ending.
Rescue.
A bit of a laugh
and
afterwards.
A camera on her.
There you go. They've given her the win. Irina from Belarus, youngest competitor in the field.
17 years old.
It's impressive.
But it happens, as we mentioned, they're incredibly unstable boats. It's not a real surprise when they're lunging forward that they might give it their all, which is what you want.
You just need to finish. You need to get your nose across the line. And
here we see the close-up. And just off camera, they're actually hauling her. She's now safely into an inflatable boat, so she will put it down to experience. And can't quite see from here. I'll get my binoculars out. I'm sure she's got a smile on her face.
I think she seems pretty relaxed. Yeah, she's happy to be back.
Yeah,
in
just
a boat.
wiping herself down, making sure the hair's fine for the camera.
Bit of a shock, but it happens.
And now they're just coming, as you can see the pictures. Oh, that's just a few seconds. That's not live, but she's now coming to the side.
Hasselhoff.
The K2 men 200 metres final.
Let's quickly go through the results first of all. Belarus and Russia take the results there. Time 49.2, so it's great news that the times are coming down here.
Yeah, the girls are really heating up.
The first 4 round, including Miss Potts, under 50 seconds, which is it's getting better pretty much every week. As you mentioned, microphone's open. Talk as much as you like.
Looking forward to the K2 men 200 race next up. It's going to be good, interesting seeing some of the boys backing up from the K1, and as we look at the women's results.
We need to confirm it. The official result from the K1 200 coming back. Lisa Carrington clearly won. Sova Goyo came second, and Irina Klinova from Kazakhstan, great result there, actually took the third.
Yeah, great to see Kazakhstan on the podium, but Lisa Carrington showing dominance in women's kayaking yet again.
But talk about the K2 200.
It's a really tough race. It's so close, but I'm going to pick the Germans in lane 6, Ronnie Rau and Tom Liebscher. They were absolutely smoking down the course yesterday. They looked amazing. You've got 2 Canadian crews in there. You can't go past the Great British, the Russians, they're world and Olympic champions.
And of course your home team.
I've got the Aussie boys in lane 9, Jesse Phillips, Steve Bird. They'll be looking for a solid performance here.
Let's get to them as we see them coming up. It's Svensson and Sven Quist. They often make the finals, 25, 28 years old, and their last result was they came 6th in Milan 2 weeks ago.
So they're in the mix, the Swedish boys on the outside lane.
Ezequiel and Miguel.
From Argentina.
And there we had the surprise 2 weeks ago. They actually weren't in their Olympic boat, and they put it down to the fact they were in a new boat. It's the first time they actually raced in a different boat, and now they insisted that their special boat was shipped over or driven over from Russia. Cochrane and Dr. Daber from Canada. Liam Heath and Johnny Schofield, let's hope he's dried off a bit and is celebrating his second place in there from Great Britain. Obviously they've won many international and world silver medals. Impressive 2 weeks ago, and as you mentioned, impressive yesterday. Ronnie Rau, the veteran, and Leibischer, the powerhouse. Moreau and Fournel from Canada, great result there. The fastest in the first 30 metres last week in Milan, so let's see how they go. Ibois and Juve, this is the combination that won the 2010-2011 Worlds.
Go Australia.
Yeah, they've won. Is it 5 times in a row they've won the national championships there?
They have. They've been undefeated. So the WA boys, they'll be looking for a really solid performance here. Us Australians aren't coping so well with the weather over here. It is colder for us. So
didn't you clean out one of the shops a few days ago?
Yeah, we did. We all got about 10 new thermals each, and jackets, socks, everything. So hoping they're hot and ready to go now.
Russia lane 3, Great Britain lane 5, Germany lane 6.
Fast start.
They get the rating up, the Germans.
So you've got...
Look at that.
There's Great Britain going for it. They said training had gone well.
They look good every time, and the Germans are out. 4th from the bottom, the Germans are taking it out. The Russians are 3rd from the top of the screen.
But at the bottom we have the French coming through as well. So it's the German, I suppose, it's a one-horse race at the moment. Russia, can they put their power down? But Germany are going to storm it with Russia coming back and Great Britain in the picture as well.
Russian, German, French. Tight, very tight for the minor placings yet again. The Germans just really taking it to the field there. They get out and they get up top speed and they just keep going. It's like they wind up throughout the race. So Ronnie Rau's obviously been the man of the K2 200 the last couple of years. K1 200, he's...
couple of years, he's 32, he's been competing.
He's been around a while.
He was in 1998, I believe he first came on. That's when you were about 4 years old, so he's early.
Yeah, he's definitely very experienced in the 200, and he's made his mark on this race. And in K1, K2, K4, it's...
Jonas Ems, his normal partner, was going in the K1 200, and obviously this Leibischer, who was in the K1 200s last year, and obviously won the gold medal at the Worlds.
That's it. He's only a young guy.
They've won it by a long way here. Who's second? It looks. Is it?
I'd say Russia on the top side there, the dark boat. So they'd be happy with that. Really happy. They've had 2 from 2 now this World Cup series, and looking to go 3 from 3 if they're heading to Hungary. I'm not sure, and having another successful season and going on with the Worlds, I guess. And Tom in the back there, and the young fella would be looking to make another medal around his neck. And
he's already picking up quite a collection. Here we go, the K2 200 official results. Germany, Russia, France. And France put out Great Britain. That was a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, well, the Russians haven't looked on their game the last 2 regattas, so maybe they're tweaking some things. You said they've got a different boat and what have you, but they're going to have to go back to the drawing board and have a look at what they're doing. And
And they're also being pushed very hard. There's a young under 23 team which is very, very strong as well.
Yeah,
Here we go, on with the action from the kayaks to the canoes. And it's the C2 200 metres final.
Yeah, I think again you have to look at the middle lanes, the German, the Russians, the Belarusians. It's a tough field, but we've got Moldova in lane 1.
Oleg and Sahil. It's great to see so many nations competing at this actual level.
Brothers?
You'd have to say, wouldn't you? Maybe
Yeah.
it's a common name. I'm not sure.
Two sets of brothers
We do
in
have,
this race.
yeah, there's the Yelmanovs we're going to see in a couple of minutes. But in lane 2, I suppose the guys with the most experience, biggest success are Dmitry Rabchenko and Alexander Wojcicki. They are part of the C4 boat that's won the Worlds 3 or 4 times, but also they've done pretty much they've won many silvers and bronzes in World Championships in the past.
There you go. This is a little bit foreign to us, the canoeing, so I recognise the names and I just see the boats go past in warm-up, and they do provide a lot of wash for us.
Yemelyanov, as we mentioned, we had Sergei, 18 years old a few minutes ago. It's Timothy, who's 21, and Mikhail's 23. So there's good to look out for.
Very
we shouldn't ignore
experienced
these
crew.
world champions.
Yeah, this is Robert Nook and Stefan Holtz. The mini-me and the giant in the back, and
He's a giant. But I say they
very
won
powerful.
they won the Worlds last year.
So they'll be right in the mix against the Russians here.
Kovalenko, they're switching the team about a bit. We had Kretov, who came second a few minutes ago with Kovalenko, who normally goes with Lipkin, but we'll see those Nikolai Lipkin with Valentiev, who's also won quite a few gold medals. I think Nikolai Lipkin's now won 7 world gold medals in the last 10 years. So they're 2 really top Russian teams again. Belarus, not so well known, but they're still in it. And clearly here we have, he's actually going with Varga this time, is Bushen Sevigny, Gabriel, who enters an awful lot of races and was on the medal podium yesterday in the C2 1000 with Ben Russell. And 2 others, I think these won the silver medal yesterday with Yaroslav and Filip, the Czech pair, who are again sort of poster boys, and it'd be interesting to see how they combine to go from the 1000 to 200.
Yeah, it's great. People double up and they do many events, and the 200 benefits the 1,000. So why wouldn't you do it?
National heroes back home, the Rabchenko and Wojcicki. It's a huge sport there, and they've been on top of their game now for 7 or 8 years. How they keep it going, no idea, but they keep the motivation going. And there's Dmitry Haratsa, who's not here this week, who's won many gold medals as well. So at this level, Belarus here have can't remember how many exactly athletes here, but I think the 3rd or 4th largest team. Just coming in, is that gamesmanship? Don't get disqualified, boys.
The translation might have been a bit broken for them.
I think they know what they're doing. We haven't had any disqualifications for lateness this week, which is great stuff. Well done, starters. Russians in lanes 5 and 6.
Germans in lane 4. Holtz.
The Russians, here they go.
Can they keep the action? So Andrei in the back, who was here with us yesterday, and
Yes.
Kovalenko. But it's the other Russians pushing it out. It's Lipkin and Menantiev so far taking the lead.
And the Germans 4th from the top of the screen.
Germany's
in the
really
other
starting to
boat.
come through now.
You think that's big Holtzy in the back just pushing.
It's Lipkin against Holtz. Who's going to win? It looks like Holtz is coming through. It's really close.
Oh, it's going to be a shoot for the line, but you'd have to say Russia in lane
Looks
6.
like
Russia counts blue.
Victor Menantiev, Nikolai Lipkin. Normally you see Lipkin
Nice.
with Kovalenko, but it looks like they've managed to
Switch it up, and you wonder if the boys would be pretty tired from the C1 200 final, 20 minutes ago. So maybe that takes its toll, and they keep switching the teams up if it is selection for their nations, and trying for a better boat, a faster boat, and put the best foot forward for your nation. They're big and strong, these boys.
They are big, well, aren't they? They're not
They
just,
are.
they're not necessarily muscly like some of the others, but they're just big shoulders, big
Yeah.
guys. And
Yeah,
they certainly, we sat next to some of them having lunch yesterday, and they can put the food back as well.
Yeah, I can imagine they would, yeah.
Sadly, for restaurant guests, it's about the same technique. Anyway. So, Jared, watching all this, do you like being in the commentary box, or do you prefer being out in the water?
I think I'll stick to the water.
It's nice to be up here, and it's a little bit warmer than out in the water, so it is definitely different watching races. You don't see, like I said earlier, we don't see many of the canoeing races, but when you do watch it, you you put the face to the name, and it is definitely very taxing. Technically.
Russia take the gold, Germany silver, and Belarus taking the bronze medal. The second Russian team, as Andrei Kretor was in the water 20 minutes before, so perhaps he was a little bit tired. And Canada coming just less than 2 seconds off the win. Encouraging result there for Wagenbusch and Savigny.
Yeah, some solid times too in these conditions, and they're not far behind the K2 200 boys. So
women K2 200 final, 2 Brits, 2 Chinese, and many other European teams.
Lots of Europeans here today, yes.
So the China have been mixing it up. It's very difficult to get so many details because they don't have much international exposure. So we can tell us everything you know about them.
I know our ex-coach Martin Marinov is coaching in China, and he says that they just train hard. They're very strict on their training regime, and they do give everything in training. But like you said, they need to encourage their racing.
Lani Belcher, Rachel Cawthorne. You saw a very close fight yesterday with Lani in the 1000. She took the.
I did, yeah. So Lani and Rachel, new combination. The Jess Walker here and Ange Hanna, another new combination. So the British girls are working on what's going to be the best boat for their country at the moment as well. Very exciting. This is the Belarusian crew. Yesterday they took the win in the K2 500. So and they're just always there, the Belarusians.
We've just seen one of them in Nikahova. We see her a few minutes ago in the K1 200, but these have been together for years.
Slovakian girls were 4th yesterday in the K2 500. They're always in the K2 200 as well, as are the Polish girls.
Kalczek, Krodowska, they've got a good CV as well. So yeah, we've got some really strong combinations going forward in Germany.
Connie Vasmuth and Tina Dietz. Tina Dietz a K2 500 Olympic champion, and Connie's a great K1 200 paddler. So they're mixing it up again. And you have Vicky and Anna from Austria. Girls do every K2 race.
They do every race, to be honest.
Every race, exactly. Yeah.
Crowd favourites.
Well, they're not ugly, and they certainly get through to all the finals, and they just need to go from 7th to 1st sometimes.
Yeah, they're good on Instagram and social media, so it's all good for the sport, and they live the life, I think.
Absolutely, but then you all. Anyway, here we go. So the Brits against Belarus and Germany, who won last year in the second to bottom lane.
The Brits, Lani and Rachel
and
up the top. Lane 3 had a cracker of a start.
But they're next lanes this time, so it's and
they've had a great start. That's Belarus in the middle. Belarus look like they've just taken the lead there.
But careful at the bottom of your picture, the Germans are coming through strongly.
Germans are having a good push towards the finish.
Lane 5, it's Belarus. Can they get the second victory in a weekend? But it's the Brits, Lani and Rachel, are also coming at it. It looks like they're certainly going to get a medal.
Slovakia
and the red boat look like they're going for a push for a. Oh, it was a tight with the Germans. So.
Well, Belarus take their second victory in a weekend.
Belarus.
It's rare that you actually double up.
Yeah, the K2-2 and K2-5, so that's a solid win. Yeah, it's
just a case of Great Britain. Did they manage to come through into the second, or was it the Slovakians that took it a while?
And the Germans push home for a solid finish as well. So,
well, the Germans, they were in the K2 1000. They won that last week. The level, I think, is perhaps slightly different to Milan, where they actually won in this one. And the Brits seem to have a small team, but they seem to have a very motivated team, and they're all praising each other and encouraging each other.
Yeah, they've got some great paddlers, and the sprinting program's really taken off there. I think that'll stem from Ed McKeever and the Olympics in London 2012. A tight finish there.
Looking
GB second.
They seem to take the second, didn't they? It's another
tight for third. So the sprinting program in Great Britain's obviously taken off, and obviously Christian making the final earlier, Liam in the final. The K2 boys, like it's great depth there. They've obviously got great support, and the system's working for them.
Well, long may it last, and your system obviously working as well. Seem to have a lot of new people coming through.
Yeah, we've got some great boys coming through as we look at results.
Yeah, confirmation of the result. Belarus take the second victory of the weekend. Great Britain a silver, Slovakia bronze, and Germany going from first to fourth, coming out with Poland, Great Britain, Australia, and China this time not quite up with the pace.
Yeah, well, it's great they're in the final. It's throw them in a K4, and is that their K4 that they have that race? So you never know, and having numbers and opportunity to mix it up, it gives you great options.
So what, briefly in a few words, what's the programme for the rest of the few days? Are you going on to Szeged? Are you going home? Are you?
Yes, from here we head back to Italy where we have our training base, and then from there we head to Szeged for racing, and then back home to Australia, 5 weeks home, then back to Europe for 7. So it's a pretty busy program, but it's good to get home and have a breather and refresh and get sorted, and we know where we are now.
And Jared, what's your programme?
For us, we're just going to stay a few more days in Racice, and then we head to Szeged to race Szeged, and then we have a good 6 weeks in Szolnok, Hungary, and 3 more weeks here, so they'll be leading up to Moscow.
Hey, so you're away from home for 4 months and stuff.
Yeah, it's a long way from home, and
you came over here hoping for the summer. But apparently next week, if you we're just about to sum up, but thanks for joining us. Next week we're going to be in Szeged, and I've heard it's going to be 28 degrees and sunny.
It's a heat wave. It's a heat wave, they say.
For us it is, so it's going to be great. We've had a thank you very much to the Czech Republic, been wonderful hosts. The weather hasn't been on our side, but that's just the way things go. And we've seen some great racing. Both of you, thank you both for coming in. You've both made finals, which is encouraging. I don't know if that's your goal, but that's very encouraging for the layman's point of view.
Yeah, it's great to be a part of it, and the sport's growing, and the Europeans are definitely supportive of it, and us Australians love coming over here and racing and testing ourselves against the best in the world.
Good, and 30 seconds to wrap up. A highlight of this weekend?
The highlight for me was the K1000 finish yesterday, and just being on the podium with my buddies, Canoe from New
Officially,
Zealand.
you had the fastest last 50 metres of the whole competition.
I was just thinking surf ski finish, yeah. So happy with that, and just happy that things are happening for us and on the right track.
Well, officially, we've got another 15 seconds left, so I'd just like to say I'm Matthew Leighton. Thank you very much for my guests, Vladimir Flood, Jared Fitzgerald from New Zealand. Good luck next week, and thank you everyone for tuning in.
Thank you. Paddle well, Jared. Paddle well.
That's it from us. Have a good weekend.